What essential wardrobe item did Chris Pine add to his character? Which Wonder Woman star got her role thanks to Zack Snyder? And what was the hardest thing on the set for Gal Gadot? Hi, I'm Joy. Let's find out. Chris Pine as Steve Trevor. After he died as a hero in the first film, it was a huge surprise to see him in the second one. Well, for the viewers at least, because for everyone involved in the filming, including Chris Pine himself, it wasn't so astonishing. The movie director Patty Jenkins discussed Steve's return while they were still working on the first film. But it wasn't just done out of a pure desire to have Chris return for the second film. Rather, it was a well-thought-out decision. When we thought of the story for this film while we were making the first film, a eureka moment came and it couldn't have been told without Chris Pine playing Steve Trevor, Jenkins said. So yeah, his return was integral to the story. When Chris got the role in the original Wonder Woman film, he said he was very excited about working alongside a woman in the lead role. But of course, it wasn't easy for him to always remember that he was only a secondary character. My ego comes out, and I told Patty all the time, I want the big fight, let me climb something, I want to destroy. And she's like, nope, not about you. And I'm like, God damn it, Pine revealed. Yeah, that must have been hard, but he knew that Patty was right. So, was he excited to come back and play Steve once again? Yeah, pretty much, especially since he and Gal are great friends. And of course, it was exciting for him to explore his character in a new way. In the first film, Steve had to help Diana adapt to the new world, while in 1984, their roles are reversed. Seeing how different the world is, Steve has to learn everything about everything, from art to the latest fashion trends. And speaking of fashion, if you've already seen the new Wonder Woman film, you certainly remember Steve wearing his fanny pack all the time. But did you know that it was Chris's idea to add this accessory to his character's outfit? When he was asked what was inside of it, Pine simply said, treats. He was just like Santa giving out treats on the set. Kristen Wiig as Barbara Minerva, aka Cheetah. When you have to fight a Wonder Woman herself, you know you have a pretty badass role, right? It was exciting for Kristen Wiig to play Cheetah, especially since she's a superhero nerd herself. When the actress got a call from her agent telling her that Patty Jenkins wanted to see her in London for an audition, she got really nervous. For a while after trying out for the part, she didn't hear anything back. But when the news finally came, she was over the moon. I never thought I'd get the chance to be in one of those movies. I'm in my 40s and I'm not known for being this type of actor. I would look around the set and think, I can't believe I'm in this, Kristen shared. She definitely had to train for the role though. After all, Cheetah has to be a match for Wonder Woman, right? When the stunts team showed Kristen some of the things that had to be done, at times she was like, are you insane? But then she'd go ahead and do most of the stuff by herself. And although the intensive training was hard, Kristen was glad to do it. Cheetah is a strong, powerful person, and I wanted to feel that way, the actress said. And of course, she enjoyed working with Gal. They actually became good friends on the set.
Gal and Chrissy having fun! We're Gal and Chrissy and we're having fun!
Hilarious. And now, let's move on to another new actor who joined the Wonder Woman cast. Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord. Just like Kristen, he also plays a villain. And for Patty Jenkins, it didn't take long for her to realize that she wanted to see him as Max Lord. She'd worked with Pedro Pascal in the past and liked him as a person and a professional. So, as she revealed, he didn't have to prove anything to her. I just loved the idea of him, and I thought he'd be kind of unexpected because he doesn't scream villain, the director said. And Pascal was glad to get the role. He was happy to work with Gal and everyone else on the set, enjoyed the spirit of the 80s, and he loved that he got a chance to be in a Wonder Woman story. Who wouldn't want to be a part of exploring a character like Wonder Woman, the superhero we didn't even realize we needed so badly, Pascal said. And of course, now he's glad because the film is finally being released and it's happening at a time when it's needed the most. It's amazing, the actor said about the movie's release. The thought of everyone getting a chance to see this, particularly now, it's a very emotional one. Isn't he right? Connie Nielsen as Queen Hippolyta. She looks so great as Wonder Woman's mother and the Queen of the Amazons that it's hard to believe that Patty Jenkins wanted to see someone else in the role. At first, she offered it to Charlize Theron. Charlize turned it down and Zack Snyder stepped in. He thought that Connie Nielsen was right for the role, but he had to convince Jenkins because the Wonder Woman director had her doubts. For some reason, she thought that Nielsen looked too tough for the role. but Snyder persisted and succeeded. Patty agreed to meet with Connie in London, and that's how it all began. Here's how Connie described their first meeting. "I just immediately fell into this comrades in arms kind of feeling with her, and we just bonded over the next 4 hours. We had the longest lunch, and it just felt like a conversation that was unable to end." When she had to play Hippolyta once again in the sequel, Nielsen was glad to come back. She said it was like a homecoming because she loved hanging out with everyone who had become her friends on the first film's set. And of course, she was excited to meet the new additions, especially Kristen Wiig in the role of Cheetah. "I'm literally such a fan of hers, so I just can't wait to see what she's doing with the character," Connie said. And which character were you excited about seeing in Wonder Woman 1984? Share in the comments below while we move on to the next badass Amazon woman. Robin Wright as Antiope. Here's another character who tragically died in the first film, but returned in the second one. Unfortunately, her return isn't exactly like Steve Trevor's because she's not really back. It's only in a flashback. Anyway, for Robin Wright, coming back to play Antiope meant a lot. For her, Wonder Woman is integral in pushing the progress further and finally eradicating gender inequality. "What Wonder Woman, who was created in the 40s, what does she symbolize?" Robin asks. "Justice and equality and speaking the truth. So to be a part of that enhancement as Wonder Woman's general, it's so great." Of course, however badass Wonder Woman is, she's not the only formidable female warrior in the film because there are other Amazons. And since Robin Wright played their general and also had to train Diana on screen, her training was vigorous. As the actress shared, she had a complete body transformation while preparing for the role. "We would do horse riding for an hour, then drive from the stable to the studio and do weight training for an hour, heavy weights and short reps to build size quickly," Robin explained. Besides, to quickly put on mass, she had to eat 2,000 to 3,000 calories per day. It wasn't easy, but Wright felt great. "I loved getting injured just from doing too many squats," she said. Oh wow! Gal Gadot as Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman. She may be a household name now, but just a few years ago she was ready to give up on acting. Gal lost out on a large number of roles at the beginning of her career. She even auditioned for the part of Bond's girl in Quantum of Solace, but lost it to Olga Kurylenko. All these rejections were so hard to handle for Gal that she didn't know how much longer she could take them. And can you believe it? An audition she had with Zack Snyder for a then-secret role was the last one she wanted to deal with before going back to Israel for good. When Gal came for the camera test, it was torture just sitting and waiting for her turn, so she decided to put on some inspirational music. She chose Beyoncé. Who runs the world? Girls. "I just started to dance and I let my anxiety go. Thank you, Beyoncé," Gal shared. "I wonder if Queen Bey knows about this." Anyway, everyone quickly realized that Gal Gadot was perfect for the role of Diana. So the next step for her was to train for the part. Gal had to hit the gym really hard. Due to her past service in the Israel Defense Forces, she knew what it meant to train vigorously. But training to become a superhero turned out to be much harder for her. She trained for 6 months, 6 to 7 hours a day. "I've gained about 17 pounds, and it's all muscle," Gadot said. "I feel much better now." When you feel strong, it changes everything. But training for the sequel turned out to be even more challenging because Patty Jenkins wanted to use as little CGI as possible and made the actors do most of the stunts by themselves. "The hardest parts were just how demanding the shoots were and how physical it was," the actress admitted. "Since they had to do everything for real, filming took longer and it was much more exhausting. But it was all totally worth it. You can tell the difference between real action to CGI action," Gal said. "You can see it in the way that we move, the way that we hold our faces, our bodies." And like everyone else involved in the film, Gal was happy to be there. As a little girl, she didn't have a strong female character as a role model. And now her character has become one for her own daughters and girls all over the world. "It's so powerful and strong, and I feel very, very grateful that I have the opportunity to be a part of this," Gadot said about Wonder Woman 1984. And there's one more reason why working on the sequel was special for Gal. She met her icon. Linda Carter as Asteria. Although she only appears in a post-credit cameo, her joining the film became significant for the movie crew and fans alike. So we can't just leave her off the list. After all, Linda Carter, the original Wonder Woman, is a legend. Earlier this year, she made a surprise appearance at the Wonder Woman 1984 panel during DC Fandom. And it was an emotional one. Carter said that she'd always been a fan of Patty Jenkins and that she was glad to see Gal Gadot playing Diana. In her turn, Jenkins revealed that her plan wasn't to reinvent Wonder Woman or create a new chapter for this character. "We just hope to take the torch and pass it forward," the director said. And Gal called Carter a real-life Wonder Woman and added, "I can't be more grateful to have that guidance and call you Mama Bear, and knowing your children now." Were you excited to see the legendary Linda Carter in the DC fandom as well as in Wonder Woman's 1984 post-credit scene? And what do you think about the new film about Diana Prince? Share in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay awesome. Thanks for watching.